Watch Dogs is a game that has had a lot of controversy regarding its graphical downgrade. The vanilla game looks quite washed out compared to the presentation from 2012 and 2013. There was an obvious downgrade which made a lot of players upset, and Watch Dogs still haven't been able to wash the stain away. Like, the game in its core is just what Ubisoft presented for the most part, minus the graphics. That's where modders come in. Modders have generally put in a good deal of work and time to make the game look like the E3 presentation. They've gotten close, but haven't been able to capture the exact vibe. Here are my top 5 graphics mod for Watch Dogs, some of which try to bring back the E3 aesthetic and some of them try something totally new and fresh. But by the way, this is my personal list based on my subjective opinion. I have played and checked out these mods in detail, and I'm just going to be focusing on specifically the graphical details, like the post-processing, the lighting and everything like that. I'm not going to get into mechanics and stuff, but if you want a separate video about it, I will make sure to make one. So at the number 5 spot, we've got TheWorse Mod for Watch Dogs. It's not the worst mod, but it's just the name. I didn't see too much of a difference with TheWorse and Kazuya 24, so I'm just gonna have TheWorse Mod here instead of the Kazuya 24. And thank you for letting me butchering that name. So it's the only mod on the list that is the closest to the vanilla game, at least in my opinion. It brings a lot of enhancements to the game. The game now properly uses its high textures for clouds, sparks, lens flare, smoke, fog, fire, vegetation, water, explosions, and I think some debris as well, and a bunch more. Depth of field has been adjusted to make the game look more cinematic. There's a lot more fog that surrounds Chicago, which is rather interesting. It gives the game a really cool aesthetic, and it also sticks with the story a bit more. Headlights now cast shadows, the textures load up from a further distance, the reflection of lights have been enhanced, cars have variable lights depending on car models. The daytime still looks washed up, but it's definitely better than the vanilla game. Ambient occlusion has been increased, daylight shadows look softer, and the scene looks a lot more complex than vanilla game. I particularly love this mod in the rain, the reflective puddles, the atmospheric fog during the storm, the lightning, the raindrops falling on cars. It just sticks with the gloomy atmosphere of the game. Driving fast in the rain is just super fun. Or just cruising in the rain is just soothing. Aiden's coat soaks in the rain perfectly. This city looks something like out of Arkham City or Arkham Knight. The nighttime as well looks true to the art direction of the original game, with a bunch of enhancements in post-processing. The lights look quite blurry on the buildings from a distance, or maybe it could just be because of the depth of field. Entering the loop is quite similar to what we see in the vanilla Watch Dogs. The car reflect lights realistically and follow a basic cube map reflection of the world. Regardless, TheWorse is a really great mod that comes with a lot of enhancement and makes the game look special. Oh, fun fact, this is one of my first Watch Dogs mods that I played with when I first started playing Watch Dogs. The camera position, the depth of field, the enhancements are just too good for me to go back to the vanilla game. This mod actually ruined the vanilla Watch Dogs for me. So at number 4 we've got the Revival mod. Now it brings in a lot of E3 aesthetics, which I personally do like, but at the same time, every single mod for Watch Dogs tries to look like the E3 presentation. There's a lot of features that it comes with. So the creator of this mod, Chaos Gaming, says that this mod uses nearly everything from the E3 2012 build, starting with visuals and ending with animations and models. So it's still in a work in progress. So basically there's a ton of E3 2012 features in this mod. I will share a link in the description if you want to check it out yourself. I'm going to be specifically talking about how the game looks when you're actually playing it. I felt when I was playing the game, I felt the game looked a bit more sharper. It had, like in the daytime, in the sunlight, the game kind of looked a lot like TheWorse Mod. I didn't see a lot of differences other than some toned down distant fog, which is totally fine by me. Other than that, the shadows were soft. The code physics is perfectly fine. I actually prefer the code physics in this mod than the worst mod because it's more E3 2012-esque. I don't really like the Aiden that comes with this mod. It's I know they're going for the E3 vibe, but I personally like the Aiden with the retail version of the game. Now there are some new animations that come with this, like the profiler animation and the way you jog while being in the profiler while holding your phone. It's just so good looking. I don't know why Ubisoft removed it, but it just looks amazing. One thing I must say that I don't like about this mod is the white rims. I totally dislike them so much. I don't know why they had them in. Maybe they were going for the E3 look, but it just looks hideous. I don't like it at all. Again, in the daytime, I didn't really see too much of a difference in Revival compared to the worst mod. I think it's using the similar settings of the worst mod, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure about that. The nighttime is a totally different story though. It does look quite sharper compared to the worst mod. I think it's because of the toned down depth of field. One of the things that I really like in this mod about the night time is that cars have this certain flare, lens flare, which I really liked from the E3 presentation, but it is a bit exaggerated in this mod, but it still looks really good. Just walking at night in this mod just looks phenomenal. With the code physics, with the new animations, it just looks really good. One of the reasons why this mod is actually higher than the worst mod is because it's going for that E3 aesthetic, and I know there's a lot of mods in the market that actually, you know, go for the E3 aesthetic and stuff, but this mod actually does it right in certain ways, and it's still a work in progress. So maybe, hopefully, I don't know if we're gonna see a newer version of this or not, but so far this mod looks actually pretty good at nighttime, in daytime, and in the rain. I have some I still think the worst mod looks way better in the rain because of the fog and just the way it looks, but in this mod the rain is kind of a hit or miss for me. One of the places that I go to when I'm playing with this mod is Pawnee, because it's actually really nicely blending the lighting and the nature. It's just amazing to go there while playing this mod. There's a bunch of things that I don't like about this mod, but especially the rain. The rain was disappointing. I really enjoyed the rain with the worst mod because it had the fog, it was gloomy, it had its own aesthetic. But the reason why this mod is a bit higher than the worst mod is because the E3 aesthetic, and I really love that. So I'm gonna keep it at number 4, and we're gonna move on to the next one. So at number 3 we have Natural and Realistic by Wazafar. I don't know if I said his name right. The mod basically includes most features from the original TheWorse Mod, such as depth of field, textures, headlight shadows, and a lot of other things. It actually brings in a lot of things other than that. It brings in E3 white helicopter spotlight, E3 Beretta, and a lot of other stuff. I'll have that in the description so you can check it out yourself. So this mod, hands down, was my most favorite and go-to mod for Watch Dogs ever since it got released. because it just looks so neat, so modern, so eye candy-ish pleasing. It's so nice. It's natural and realistic, just as the name suggests. The daytime, the sun, the reflective surfaces on cars, windows, everything just looks so nice and beautiful. It actually gives a really nice color tone to the game. The lighting has been modified to make the game look a bit more modern and aesthetically pleasing. It gives the game much needed color and character. The draw distance is amazing. I think they've totally removed the fog. In my experience, I didn't see too much fog at all. I just saw when I was driving over the bridge into the loop, I saw no fog. I saw all the clear buildings. It looked just amazing. Now, realistically speaking, there would be some sort of dust pollution in a big city like this, so it's not as clean as this, but at the same time, it's a video game, but it looks aesthetically pleasing. I definitely recommend it. It used to be, and it still is, I still play with this mod all the time. It just looks perfect in every kind of condition, day, night, rainy weather, especially the rainy weather. The mod is using a lot of settings from TheWorse Mod, as I've mentioned before, and it just takes it to a level up above and beyond. The rainy weather just looks amazing. The reflective surfaces, just the raindrops, the coat soaking in the rain. When you drive your car in the rain, it just makes you feel like you're in this place at the moment in Chicago in a rainy season. You cannot get better than this. It's still one of the best looking mods for Watch Dogs out there. Driving your car around with this mod on is just, it actually makes me feel like it's raining outside and I'm just driving my car. It's super cozy, super soothing, and I just don't know how to explain it. It's just like the perfect feeling. The night lighting is very well done with this mod. It actually has nice colors. Calling this mod eye candy wouldn't be wrong. I understand that this mod is going for a natural and realistic look, but at the same time, it just looks pleasing. Again, depending on the weather, if the weather is foggy, you will see some fog around the city that surrounds it. I don't know what kind of textures the roads are using, but they look really clean and really presentable, to be honest. I don't know, for lack of a better word, it just looks photorealistic. You can see the sunrise and the sun rays hitting the buildings. It's such a beautiful sight. I love this mod. Anyways, I'm gonna stop gushing about it. I'm gonna move on to the next one because there's two better mods than this, which is surprising. Watch Dogs is such a good game to play with mods. It just looks amazing. It just looks amazing. It's still one of my favorite mods, but still, there are two more mods, and I'm still surprised that those mods are better than this mod at the moment. So we're just gonna move on to that. So at number dos, we have this will be surprising for some people, but we have Watch Dogs Reborn. The author of this mod is Hey Slick, That's Me. Currently, there's a big warning for this mod that you shouldn't use it because it crashes the game. I haven't experienced that yet for myself, and I've played with this mod a bunch of times. I haven't gotten any crashes yet, so I think I'm on the safe side. So there's a lot of features that come with every single Watch Dogs mod, and it's the same case with this one. There's new map icons, graphics have been reworked, so there's a lot more features. You can, again, I'll give you the mod in the description, you can read it if you want. I'll get into the graphical enhancement this mod brings to the game. So right off the bat, when you load this mod in, you are in for a treat. This mod just looks amazing, and I think Slick did a really nice job with it. The first thing that I noticed was the car camera. It's quite different, which I really like. I think they took that from the 2013 presentation of the game. I could be wrong, but that's my hunch. I've noticed with a lot of these mods, the camera position has been changed for the third person view, and I love it. I cannot stand the third person view on Aiden Pierce in the vanilla game, and I just don't like it. The mod is very complex, and you see it as soon as you load it in. It comes with Living City, so you will have a very different gameplay experience compared to the other mods. Since I'm not talking about any gameplay changes, I'm specifically talking about graphics. The graphics. Let's talk about graphics. There's a totally new physics. Driving around in Chicago with this mod just make you feel like you're actually there. It's not going for realism, in my opinion. It's actually going for the E3 look, to me at least, since they're using a lot of things from the E3 2013 trailers, though I could be wrong. The first thing that I noticed when I started playing with this mod was the car reflections, and I think they've enhanced them in such a way that the cars are basically mirrors now. The next thing that I noticed was the skybox. I think they're using a different texture for skyboxes, and it looks just pretty good. It fits in really nicely with this mod. Another thing that I noticed with this mod was the daytime. In the clear weather, it just didn't look too convincing to me. It just looked really diffused. I think that it would have been a bit better if the daytime was a bit more vibrant compared to what we got. But still, the mod is still a work in progress, so maybe we might see a change in that. I did see the distant fog returning for this mod, but not as crazy as TheWorse Mod. It was actually reasonable. The daytime isn't bad, but it always seemed quite cloudy to me for some reason, or maybe it was just cloudy weather, but it actually really felt diffuse, the lighting. I felt that the daytime had a blue tint to it, which I'm not a big fan of, but I think it comes with this mod is the style of this mod, so I'm rooting for it. But the nighttime in this mod is a totally different story. I love the nighttime in this mod. It just captures the aesthetics, the vibe, exactly what I like in a Watch Dogs mod. It just captures that perfectly. I love it. The way the mod handles night just works. I don't know why that is, but it just works. It is convincing enough. I just love it. Especially when you're entering the loop from any direction. You see the buildings, you see the lights. It just makes the game look amazing. The game actually looks cinematic with this mod. I cannot oversell it to you. It just looks like you are playing a movie. It is that good. It just looks super cinematic. I recommend this mod to anyone who wants to play Watch Dogs, even if you're playing for the first time. If you played this game for the first time, play it with the Reborn mod and you will fall in love with this game. And if you've already played the game and you didn't like it, play with this mod, you will fall in love with the game once again. It just brings the perfect style, the perfect amount of everything. There are some setbacks. I mean, I understand that the daytime is a bit diffused, they're using a different tint, but it's okay. The gameplay, not only the gameplay, the graphics actually. The graphics just make you feel like you're in a cinematic movie. It's that good. And I haven't even started talking about the rain yet. The rain in this mod is the best rain I've ever seen in any Watch Dogs mod. I've tested a lot of mods, by the way. Not only these 5, I've tested a lot of like merges by other people. But this one, the rain is just amazing, especially the camera angles. You have Living City up on top of that. You have the perfect amount of population. I just cannot explain. It just looks so good. I've played with basically 10 mods, or a bit more than that, to make this video, and I had the most fun playing with Reborn. I'm telling you, stop the video, get the mod. It's just amazing. And I hope the author actually works on the next iteration of this mod, because I cannot wait. It's so good. Please, Slick, you gotta work on this. Next mod, please. So here we are, last but not least, at the number 1 spot. We've got Fall of Windy City. Now, I was debating between like if I should go and put Reborn at number 1 or Windy City at number 1. Like, one of the things that I really love about Windy City is that it does something that not a lot of mods are doing. Like, Parallel Lines have been really good with this mod. He just like came up with a really cool idea. The lighting is super cool. It actually feels like autumn in Chicago. You know, the way the sun sets, the sun rises, the skybox, everything is just redone completely. And there are some new features that come along with this mod, like the night shadows. I've never seen those in a Watch Dogs mod before, and this mod actually brings them in, so it's amazing. Parallel Lines just, knocked this out of the park. But one of the things that I was kind of surprised about was that there was no headlight shadows, and I was kind of bummed out about it, and I was like, I'm gonna put it in number 2 spot. But what this mod does, it does it perfectly fine. I know that you can change the camera position for the character in 3rd person, but I wish the mod just came out with the camera position a bit further back from Aiden, but it's okay, it's totally fine. I really love the aesthetic that this mod has. It's so different. I've never seen anything like this in the Watch Dogs modding community. We've gotten mods like E3 mods or natural and realistic, but we've never got something that actually brings Chicago to life. This is hands down the definitive edition of Watch Dogs. It feels like it, at least. If you have Living City with it, you have this mod installed, just perfect. It's basically all you need. It is so good looking. If you look at the setting sun and you see how the skybox changes, it just looks majestic. That's the perfect word for it. Let's talk about the lights in the buildings thing. I never thought of it ever, but it actually makes the city look more dynamic, to be honest. Like, in the morning time you have lights on in the buildings, and it gives a certain life to the whole city. You can be like, oh my god, there's somebody in the building, they have their light on, so it actually feels more alive and dynamic. I'm not quite sure, but I think they're using the vanilla depth of field. There's no enhancement in that, not that I've seen so far. I've never seen any of these features in the other mods, because city lights, I've never seen that. It's just specific to this mod. New indirect lighting method, only in this mod. Over 20 new sky textures. I don't know of it. Maybe they did something with Reborn, but I really appreciate the sky textures in this game. I'm a big fan of that. Darker and more realistic nights, that's something that I'm going to talk about in a second. Reworked vegetation, enhanced vehicle lights, all new color grading, real life accurate time scale, improved renderings, which means better draw distance and rain and texture flickering. And as far as I know, this is the only mod that supports Bad Blood, which is really cool. I've never really played too much of Bad Blood, but I plan to, and I'm going to play with this one. So thank you for that, Parallel Lines. Really appreciate it. there were quite a lot of things in this mod that actually caught me off surprise, because I wasn't really expecting too much off of it. I saw a lot of people talking about it, and I think it is one of the most loved mods in the Watch Dogs community, for good reasons, of course. But when I saw it, I played the game with it. It just is the perfect Watch Dogs mod that is out there. It is, I'm not gonna say it's at the level of Ice Hunter 4.0 or Natural Vision Evolved, but I think it can compete with that, because it brings in so many features that we've never seen in Watch Dogs. One of which that I really highly appreciate is the nighttime. And at nighttime, the game just looks absolutely stunning. I don't know how to explain it to you. You just see, again, one of my best things to do in Watch Dogs to see how the nighttime looks is I just drive into the loop and look at the building and the lights. With this mod, everything looks just magical. You can see the draw distance, the rendering is enhanced. You can see the rendering of lights, the enhanced shadows at work, the night shadows casted by the moon. Though if we talk about the rain, it didn't really surprise me. It just looked okay. It wasn't the best rain I've seen in a Watch Dogs game, but it just looks fine. I have nothing bad to say about it. It just works. It looks nice. The only complaint that I have, the only two complaints that I have for this mod is the headlight shadows and the camera position. And that is it. There's nothing else that I want this mod to change. For me, Reborn and Follow Windy City was a tie, but now that I think about it and see how much features Follow Windy City brings into the game and actually like presents it in a new light, which no other mod did, I actually give points for that to Windy City. So yeah, that's my list. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments down below, and if you don't, let me know again in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, and dislike it if you disliked it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video of mine. Have a nice day. Peace.